doing today? My name's Eric. As always, I want to thank you for taking the time to check out my video today. On this episode of Smo'King, I'm going to be doing a review on the Surfit Kitchen Sous Vide Cooker. Now, those of you that are familiar with my YouTube channel know that I absolutely love cooking with sous vide. I've cooked everything from steaks, chicken, shrimp, all the way up to full packer brisket. And it's a wonderful way, especially to add it with barbecue or grilling or smoking, to kind of take the stress work out of it and guarantee that you're never going to overcook it because it cooks at a precise temperature. Now, I've also had a lot of viewers reach out to me and say, hey, I don't know if I can justify spending, close to $200 or more on some of the more well-known sous vide cookers, especially because they're not sure if it's something they're really going to enjoy. So they started asking me questions on some of the less expensive ones, and I'm not really familiar with the less expensive ones because I don't own one. So when Anna from Surfit Kitchen sent me an email a couple weeks back asking me if I'd be willing to do a review on one of her sous vide cookers in exchange for her sending me one for free, I thought this would be a good opportunity for me to check out one of these lower price units and see whether I like it or not. I haven't even taken it out of the box, so we're going to do this together and see what I think of it. To end off the experiment in the review, I'm going to end up cooking a couple New York strip steaks on it for dinner tonight for me and my wife, and we'll see how well it cooks compared to my other sous vide cookers. So stick around. We're going to see whether this is worth buying or not. Let's get cooking. So I wanted to show all you guys what my sous vide cooker or my sous vide cooker collection consists of. The very first sous vide cooker I got, and this was around 3 years ago, and luckily in the last 3 years, sous vide cooking has started to gain in popularity, and now you're seeing a lot of these inexpensive models pop up, which is good. I think it's going to help continue to grow the sous vide market once people realize how great these are to cook with. But this was the first one I got, the Vac Master. And this is kind of an industrial strength, kind of intended for commercial use, restaurant, so forth. So this was pretty expensive. I think it was close to $300 when I first bought this. So I went out on a limb. I didn't really know if I was going to like it, but I figured, you know what, if I'm going to buy one and I'm going to do videos on my channel, I better get one that would be able to handle it. And I would highly recommend this, even though I don't think they make this particular unit anymore. There are still some sites, and I think on Amazon as well, where you could still buy the remaining inventory that they still have. One of the best-selling sous vide cookers, and this one I picked up over Christmas because they had one of those, Christmas sales. I think it was Black Friday sale after Thanksgiving, and that's the Anova. It's probably within the top 2 or 3 best-selling sous vide cookers, and very, very popular. Okay, and then of course the sous vide cooker is also a wand style sous vide cooker. So what I'm going to do today is we're going to compare these two. I think comparing it to the Vac Master is a little unfair because this is kind of, like I said, an industrial machine, and these two are more intended for home use for people who want to cook at home. So let's get these out of the box. We'll do a side-by-side comparison and we'll see how they compare to each other. Alright, so here they are out of the packages. On the left here is my Anova. Now I've had this for several months. I've done several cooks with it. I've been very impressed with it. It seems to heat up very well, maintain temperature. I have no issues whatsoever. You can see, and here's the new Surfit one. You can see right away, they look almost identical in size. I mean, literally, I think they're almost identical in size. The other thing that I noticed, taking it out of the box, this is the clamp that you get with the Anova. This is the clamp you get with the Surfit. I mean, they're almost identical. There's a little different cutout on the back, but I think Surfit maybe got it at the idea for this bracket from Anova, because I mean, look at them. They have the same features exactly. Okay, so I'm happy with this bracket, so I'm sure I'll be happy with this. Now, as far as the cookers themselves, the Anova's got a thumb dial. The Surefit's just got a plus-minus button on the front. You know what? The dial's probably a little bit easier to use, but I don't know. Let's plug this one in, we'll check it out. And then as far as the top, you can see they both have a clear screen and they're going to have the same readings, you know, the temperature, the time, so forth. So let's go ahead. I'm going to stick this in a container of water. We'll get both these plugged in and we'll do a little comparison, see how they check out. All right, here we are side by side. Now, as you can already tell, the Surfit does not sit level. I've sit here and played around with it for several minutes. I cannot get it to sit straight up and down like the Anova. So this is already a big negative mark for me right now, because this container, and you know, in fairness to the bracket, it does have around maybe a ½ inch, quarter to ½ inch lip on this. So that obviously is having an effect on how this thing sits, but the brackets are almost identical and this one fits perfectly. So I'll try to put this bracket on a regular cooking pot and see if I have that issue. If you're only going to be cooking in a cooking pot, this bracket will probably work, but we'll check that out a little bit later. The next thing you'll notice is the displays themselves. One of the things I really like about the Anova is that it's kind of slanted a little bit. So if you're standing 10 feet, 15 feet away from it, you can glance over and you can clearly see you know, the display, the temperature, and the timer. The Surfit, although it's slanted slightly, it's almost completely horizontal. So you almost have to walk over to the sous vide machine and kind of look directly down or almost be right on top of it in order to look at it. The other big difference is the brightness of the display. And this is another thing that is a negative mark already, even before I've used it. Although I could clearly see the display, you could see how bright and easy to read the Anova is compared to the Surfit. Now let me show you how to switch the controls and we'll see how that looks like. Okay, with the Anova, you have this nice neon blue lit up dial that you easily thumb up and down to change the temperature. Very easy to use. Even a child could figure that out. Now on this one, you can see we have the plus minus knobs here. So you have to first push the temperature gauge, and then they flash, and then you can push the buttons. And I have to say, although this is sufficient to use, to me, the thumb dial is easier to use. Let me go over some of the other specifications. The Anova is a 900 watt unit, okay? The Surfit is an 1100 watt unit. So in theory, this should heat up water much quicker because it's got more wattage. The max minimum temperature, the Surfit, 203 degrees Fahrenheit. The Anova, 210 degrees Fahrenheit. I don't see that being an issue. I think the warmest I've seen anyone cook sous vide is like vegetables at around 185 degrees. I haven't heard of anyone cooking higher than that, so I don't think that's an issue one way or the other. I told you about the pump volume. The weight of each unit are almost exact. The Anova is 2.5 pounds. The Surfit is 2.54 pounds. And now the big difference is the price. The Anova here, its normal list price, okay, is $199. The normal list price for the Surfit is $84.99. Now this one doesn't have any kind of Wi-Fi or Bluetooth. You can upgrade to the Wi-Fi unit for $15 more, $99.99, $100. You can get the Surefit with Wi-Fi, okay? So you're paying twice as much for the Anova if you're paying retail price. But like I said, I bought my Anova on sale. It was a Black Friday sale. It was $99. So you know what? If I had a sale going on and they were both the same price, just based on what I know so far, to me the Anova is the one I would pick. Right now, I'll leave a link below to Amazon for the Surefit. Right now this one is selling, like I said, $84.99. And right now the Anova on Amazon, even though its list price is $199, it's currently selling for $159. So I think as the newer generation models come out, the prices are probably going to continue to drop. So anyway, let's get a regular pot out here just to see how this Surefit looks. Just wanted to show you the side-by-side comparison. We'll be back in a second. I wanted also to do a quick comparison to the insides. When you take off the bottom unit for cleaning, you can see here's the Anova. You got your temperature, you got your heating coils, and this is your little fan here, okay? And here is the Surfit. Now right away, although they're almost the same size, I mean they look almost identical at first glance, but you can definitely tell, well maybe not. Looks like they're around the same size fan, which is really surprising that it seems that the Surfit doesn't seem to circulate water as well. The other difference is it's just the bottom. This is a nice stainless steel hard bottom, okay? It does have a little, you know, plastic clear thing, but that's kind of neat because you can see if the water's circulating while it's in the machine. This one is plastic, or some kind of heavy-duty plastic. I don't know if it's exactly plastic, some kind of polycarbon or whatever they call that. And it seems like it's sufficient, but again, longevity. How's it going to look after you've cooked on it 50 times? Is it still going to be as hard? It might be a little bit more brittle. This, I don't think you're going to have an issue with, because this looks like stainless steel or something like that. So I just wanted to show you the side-by-side when you take it apart. Anyway, let's see how the Surfit fits in a regular cooking pot. All right, I have a 6-quart pot. I've actually only filled it up to 5 quarts. I don't know if you can see, there's markers here inside the pot. And one thing I noticed, the bracket fits perfect. Now it's upright, so I'm feeling much better. I might have to cook the steaks in something like this tonight and not my normal container. One thing I noticed when I stuck it in here and I started it, and it's probably just because it's a smaller pot, but look at the water circulation. Let me go grab the Anova. We'll stick it in here. We'll do a side-by-side. All right, here's the Anova. Let's see how the water circulates. Now it looks around the same. Okay, well, you know, again, obviously you're going to have better water circulation if you're in a smaller container. Next, I think we should do a test on how long it takes to get to temperature. All right, here we are. I got it at 70 degrees. We're going to go for 135. Start. And we'll see how long it takes to get to 135 degrees with the Anova with 5 quarts of water. So we'll be back shortly. All right, we're just past 22 minutes. It's going to hit 135 any sec. There we go. 22 minutes and 10 seconds. So let me empty this water out. We'll fill it up again, 5 quarts. We'll get it to 70 degrees and we'll see how long it takes the Surfit. 70.2, 70. Start. There we go. 17 minutes and 14 seconds. Compared to 22 minutes and 10 seconds. So a full 5 minutes quicker to heat up the water. But as I said, well, it seems to be holding steady now. Anyway, let me show you the steaks we're going to put in here. We're going to cook it in this sous vide cooker now that we got the water warmed up. We'll be back in a second with the steaks and go from there. Here you go. 2 bone-in New York strip steaks. I seasoned it with Weber Chicago steak seasoning. This is really good for steak. I highly recommend it. I'm going to get these in the bag and we'll get them in the sous vide bath. We'll be back in a second. All right, I just dropped the steaks in here. Just wanted to show you how the timer works. You hit the timer button and it looks pretty easy. It just flashes the hour. I'm just going to put 2 hours. Whoop. That was a little much. Well, I'm not looking at it. There we go, 2 hours. All right, there you go, 2 hours. And now, same thing the Anova does. It's going to cycle back and forth between the temperature and the timer. So I'm just going to let it go. We'll be back in a couple hours and we'll go from there. All right, so I set the timer, around 15 minutes ago, 14 minutes ago according here. It says 135, but look at it, 135, now it's 136. 136.2. I mean, really? And then I thought, well, wait a minute. When I set the timer, did I inadvertently change the temperature? No. My temperature's on the bottom, 135. Now we're miraculously back at 135. But Yeah, this thing's bouncing all over the place. So I hope I'm not destroying two perfectly good steaks. But I just wanted to show you that. That doesn't give me a lot of confidence right there. I've never seen that kind of movement like that on the Anova or on my VacMaster. But anyway, I'm going to let it do its thing. Maybe it's just some weird glitch or something. I don't know. But we'll find out when the steaks are done. Alright, the beeper just went off because the timer counted down. I just wanted you to hear how it sounds. We'll go ahead and stop this. We'll take these out, dry them off, and get them in the cast iron and get these little sear on these. We'll be back in a second. Alright, it's been a couple minutes. Let's turn these over. Oh, look at this. There you go. So here we are. The steaks are done. Normally 135. When I cook it in my other sous vide machines, it comes out perfectly pink in the middle. It's kind of just on the verge of medium, you know, high end of medium rare. So let's see. I'm just going to cut in one of these. Just cut a little section out here. We'll take a look. It looks like it's cooked fine, but you know what? It looks like it's a little more cooked than I normally get with 135. And I'm almost thinking what the machine was saying. Yeah, it definitely looks more cooked than 135. Alright, so you know what? I can't complain about this steak. It tastes delicious. That sear in the cast iron. And you know, it's not overcooked, so I certainly can't complain. But typically when I cook at 135, it's a little bit more rare, so I think it's off by around a degree or so. Now I did look at the manual that came with it, and you can adjust the temperature. So if you have some kind of external way to judge the temperature of the water, you can actually move it up or down, and I think that's what I'm probably going to do with this. I'm going to take it down a degree, and I think it'll be perfect. You know what? Final thoughts. You know, for an $85 sous vide machine, entry level, you know what? It's got its faults, but you know what? It still cooked these steaks pretty good and pretty decent. And if you can calibrate it to the right temperature, then I wouldn't really complain too much. The seasoning on that and the crisp, it's still very good, but I think it's just, like I said, it's a little more cooked than I would have liked it. But again, you know what, if you can get something that's more reputable on a, you know, a sale, a Black Friday sale or something like that, I would probably recommend that. But you know what, for what it is, it's a decent sous vide cooker, especially if you're kind of on the fence and nothing's on sale and this one's, you know, $100 cheaper or $75 cheaper, then I would probably say go for it. As always, I appreciate you guys watching my video. If you like the video, hit the like button. Check out the link above to my website, ericsmokingbbq.com, and we'll see you next time. Meantime, I'm going to enjoy this steak.